Thank you, President Liapsen.
Good night. I had a flu all of last week and I lost my voice a little bit. So I will rely on this mic. Thank you. While the IT guys are figuring out how to assist me, I would like to take this time to acknowledge the Master of Ceremony for a job well done so far. There has to be a starting place. You have to learn some things somewhere. MCs out there are not even made or ready made. Like the cement company, what do they call it? Ready mix, huh? You have to learn somewhere and you get to do that along the way. At the same time, I want to thank the organizing committee, or in other words, the executives of the current Enga Students Association for the invitation and the opportunity to come and this is so sophisticated. Come and speak tonight. When I got the invitation, a lot of things ran through my head. And there could be 1,000 things that I would like to talk about because I'm a teacher by profession. I left teaching and did a few other jobs later, but I'm always proud that I started as a teacher because I found a fashion to pass on information, educate and prepare people to make a difference wherever they are. Thank you, Sister Ruth, for a job well done, for a very wonderful speech tonight. We always communicate and collaborate on a lot of things, but for the purpose of tonight, we didn't plan. But somehow what she said set the face for what I'm going to say next. Thank you, SRC President. Short, brief, succinct, but powerful. That you had a speech from the next governor of Morobe. We must never forget Enga is not an island. We are part of Papua New Guinea. We are right in the hinterlands. And Papua New Guinea is still part of our global community. What happens out there affects us. If we don't be intentional in how to participate with the rest of the country and the rest of the world, we will still be way back. It's a choice. Thank you, President of Law Society, and also the representatives from the awareness groups that came. I'm actually happy to be here. And the first year students, put your hands up. The new students. This is your orientation, right? Congratulations. And especially to the girls out there, another big congratulations. Please, let's clap for them. You have climbed the greasy pole and you have come to the other side. Please do not fall back. Let's continue climbing. I am also a student here too. My classroom is just over there. I'm one of those that come in the night and attend the classes when you guys are in the mess busy eating. And it is a great honor to be speaking as a postgraduate student, as a former teacher, and also until the time of the mine closure at Fogora, I was the community relations manager. Now you are thinking, how did a high school teacher become a community relations in a mining? Yeah, it took me 15 years. 15 years of identifying who I am. And that's exactly what Ruth was talking about. The more I discovered who I was, I realized that I could displace a white man and take over his position. If you try to take cover under general classifications and group identity, in the words of Ruth, you will be still in the group. Once you discover who you are, you will stand out. That is what Ruth was trying to mention tonight. As an elder of the church, I would have easily picked up a Bible verse that talks about unity and try and give a very convincing speech on how to achieve unity based on the Bible entirely. I would have. As a father, I would have thought of 1,000 ways on how to encourage young students to be competitive, how to outperform others, and how to get there and survive. I would have easily done that. But with much less time left, I thought about what I wanted to say. And I realized that I think it's about time I use the whatever 10 minutes that I'm given to remind the students of the University of Papua New Guinea who are in the age bracket that Mr. Kilali was talking about, the triangle and the bigger margin. Well, where's the bigger margin? The youth. So this makes it the right audience. And if University of Papua New Guinea is the crop of the nation, this is the right place for me to start by reminding intellects who are elites in waiting about who they are, where they came from, their heritage, their identity, how smart and intelligent their unsophisticated forefathers were, the artistry in the handmark that they've left behind. There's so much more for us to learn. Only those who are patient to decipher what they have left behind, they will learn a lot of wisdom and values to guide them about the future. I have to qualify a few things later, but I'll have to establish a few things right now. The hangar that I inherited when I finished university was passed on to me from those that went ahead of me. I didn't choose it. I didn't have a choice. Whatever they gave me is what I got. Whatever hangar they gave me is what I got. My eldest son just turned 18 last week. The hangar that I'm going to leave behind for him is not the same hangar that I got from my father. And it saddens me to say that. The hangar that I inherited from my father was blissful, was beautiful. There were lots of yak trees. We still had mushroom seasons. We still had karuka seasons, and we would go to the bush freely without worrying about anything. There were still sangai. There were still mud. There were still a lot of things happening. And I was so damn proud to be an Engan at that time. I don't know if my son is going to be proud to be an Engan too. It breaks my heart because he just legally became an adult. The hangar that your children will inherit is what you will leave for them. There is no way, two ways about it. You will not escape it. I'm not a politician. I'm not going to speak for any politician. But what I'm going to say tonight is my last 17 years of sacrificing straight after graduating and giving my time back and working in Enga. The only last 3 years I was out of Enga. Otherwise, I was consistently living over there for the love of my people. So if by the time I finish, if I don't make you fall in love with your own province again, if I don't make you appreciate your heritage, then I would have wasted my time over you. And if I take anything more than 10 minutes, how much time do I have? Huh? If I take more time, please stop me. But firstly, can you see that picture up there? You see, what are they holding in their hands? Huh? What are they holding in their hands? Have you seen a sing like that? Amar? Huh? What are they holding? They are holding a what? Usually a rope or a stick. Have you ever wondered why they hold a rope or a stick? Have you ever noticed? Huh? If it was a full lecture, I would have asked you to have a group discussion and give me a feedback. But for the sake of time management, I will continue. You will see people holding sticks or ropes like that and dancing only when you have a mixture of age group. When you have smaller ones, then the not so smaller ones, and then those who are almost adults, and the very old experienced dancers, when they are dancing together, that's the only time they hold a stick and dance together like that. And it has a very significant reason. First and foremost is the transfer of the sacred knowledge and the rhythms of the dance itself. The going down and the going up. Oh, you have not. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. The bliss of that experience. The younger ones need to learn. So it is the older ones who set the pace. And they get the heck together. In order for alignment, in order for unison, in order for uniformity in the performance, they have to hold a stick together. Vision for unity is my presentation for today, a key driver for sustainable development in Enga province. Our theme for tonight is initiating positive change through unity. So I will still be talking about the vision for unity. What can we learn from the construction and design of our Akaland? Do you know what an Akaland is? Huh? Do you know what it looks like? What you see is the back view of two prominent houses. One is the Akaland and the other is the Hendant. Do you know which one is which? Huh? Let me say, which one is the Hendant? Huh? When you are talking about right or left, you have to say, my right or your right. Huh? Okay, now we got the group engaged. For those of you who are saying, your right, my left, why? Huh? This could be a cultural education for some of us here. Why? Let me make it easy for you. One of them at the back you see an escape route. Another one doesn't have an escape route. Which one is the men's house? Which one is the Agayant and which one is the Endant? Huh? The one with or without the escape route. Thank you for those who are confidently saying it, those who are not so confidently saying it, as well as those who are undecided. The one with the escape route is the Endant. Now I got your attention. The Hendant is usually a little bit longer than the Agayant. It has the escape route, and that door is only for the woman in the menstrual cycle period to escape, because she is not allowed to walk through the main compartment where the main fireplace is, because his sons are sleeping there. And also the Hendant has two fireplaces. The first one is the family fireplace. The second one in the second compartment is the fireplace only for the woman, only during the menstrual period. Engians had a lot of respect for blood. And then immediately after that is the other compartment where all the piglets sleep. Yes, we said our house with the most important animal that we love so much. And like Ruth said, we even die for them. And right at the back is where everybody else sleeps. But the island was a little bit shorter. But the roof is a little higher. Okay? The roof is a little higher. It has only two compartments. One is the fireplace. That's the main place where the decision is made. That's the parliament of the clan. Right at the back is the only compartment where everybody else sleeps. What can we learn from the design and construction of our battalion? A few years back, I think it was around 2009, 2008, around that time, around 2010, the Enga provincial government sponsored an essay. They came up with a resolution and they felt that the word Enga didn't identify, didn't represent the people from that province. They said the word Enga came from Western Islands. It's a part of an Western Islands dialect that means people from the north. People from the north, from up there. So because the word was not hanging, they sponsored an essay and they asked for people to, one, change the name of the province, and number two, with the change of the name, also a change of the flag. I don't know what happened to the agenda because it was never pursued again later. But at that time when they were talking about it, some of us were interested. So I was one of those who was interested and I started looking. I had to search between what name can I use. But for the benefit of giving it a new name, we cannot let go of the history, right? And we have to look at our cultural identity as well. And then what the rest of the world knows us as. Textbooks were already written, maps were already printed. And on those textbooks and maps, the word Enga was already there. So could it be possible to completely, erase it and put a new name? So in the process, I was doing some research and I came across this book called The Historical Vines by Professor Polly Wisner and Dr. Aki Tumu. In the historical Vines books, if you have not read it, you will read and learn everything about Enga. In that book, what they have established that in Enga province is made up of 110 tribes. So if you don't already know, the whole Enga province is made up of 110 tribes and 588 known clans. It is believed that there are some clans that may not have been recorded. So at the time of the publishing of the book, there are 588 known clans. Approximately 500,000 people speak the same language, which is the Enga dialect. Another 30,000 speak the Ipili language. Thank you, Isaac Manu, for the live stream of this program. If you don't already know, there's a live stream of this program going on, and it is on the Facebook page, I think Enga Popogara Facebook page. Thank you for the technical team at the back who is doing a wonderful job, so that others who are not here could revisit, or if you have missed something, you can go back, click on the link, and remind yourselves. In other corners, because we say our province with a lot of provinces, Engians who live closer to Hewa, they also speak the Hewa language. Engians who live closer to Kopioko, they speak the Duna language a little bit, but regardless of what language they are speaking, they still speak the same Enga language. The Ipili language is a trade language, conveniently selected for trading salt between Enga and Tari. That is why the Ipili language is 80% Enga words with a 20% overlay of the Tari words, the holy words. And it was convenient. Otherwise, if it was not for that language, there would not have been trade. Okay? So that is who we are. So in my quest, when I've established that we had 110 tribes, I was thinking of how I can redesign the flag. This is currently the Enga flag, right? So what I thought was, I looked at the United States of America and I realized that there were 52 states that makes up the United States of America. So if in my beloved province, if I have 110 tribes, then I should have 110 stars on the flag. Each star representing a tribe, and then I can call it my tribe is there. I'm from the Yakan tribe. I didn't specify where on that map it goes, but it has to be there. It's one of them. Okay. And I conveniently thought of a name. Again, I copied a little bit from the United States. And I got up and said, I think I'll call it what? The United Tribes of Enga. In short, it's UTE. That's not the Toyota Ute I'm talking about. This is United Tribes of Enga. So what I'm going to present for the rest of the minutes that I've left is the essay that I never submitted. Okay? It is the essay that I never submitted. In the design of the men's house of the Akalian, the most important wood, in civil engineering they will call it the main column, is the pinginir. The word pinginir, if you look at the heart and structure and the design and the architecture of the Akalian, that pinginir is the vision. As men prefer to build house, they would be very selective in what wood they will choose. And the pinginir doesn't have to be one of those soft ones. It has to be strong in the same way a vision for a province has to be strong. It must be unshakable. It cannot be from the lower strata of trees. It has to be from Taurir and all those strong ones. So if he has to go miles and miles just to collect the strong tree, which is to be the column, which is the pinginir, he has to. Because he knows that the weight of the whole house will rest on the pinginir. Without the pinginir, the house will collapse. So they have to select trees that have no scars. It has to be without blemish. All pambar and kangap and all these things must not be attached to it. It has to be strong and pure. Once they have selected it, when they have assessed it, and when they realize that this is the one, they will also even sometimes get second opinion from others who have done things before. For usually the elderly ones, they will qualify it and say, this house, if you use this one as your pinginir, this house will last a little bit longer than usual. So the choice and selection of the pinginir is very, very important. In order to foster our province, in order to change, what we need is strong vision. The philosophy of strong vision for a province can be metaphorically linked to the column post of a house in several ways. Our forefathers were unsophisticated people. They never had a civil engineering degree. They never had an architecture degree. But they knew exactly what to select. They were wise unto themselves. Foundation. We are not like people from, sorry, don't take offense if you're from other parts of the country, because I'll be a little bit biased over here. But when it came to doing the foundation of the house, they didn't select shaky grounds. Because they know that in order for them to plant the pinginir, the ground has to be equally strong to support the pinginir. Just as the column force serves as the crucial part of the foundation of a house, strong vision for the province serves as a crucial part of the foundation for its growth and development. Without vision, we are like seamen on the sea without compass. and we will be drifting. Instead of gaining grounds, we will be going round and round in circles. We will never know because the waves all look the same. Thanks to advanced technology called GPS, and global positioning system, and all these things. But prior to such technology, and even now, people can still get lost. Strong foundation, strong vision is what is necessary. And if that vision can be shared by whole Engan children and young adults, we have an opportunity to redesign and recreate the Enga that we want our children to inherit. Number 2, support. The Pinginir provided support for the entire structure of the house, as I said. In the same way, a strong vision for our province is designed to provide support to the growth and development of the province. If the vision does not support the growth and development of the province, we need to revisit how our forefathers survived. They were not blind. They were not vain. They were intentional people who knew what they were doing. Maybe their offsprings, we are not as wise as they are. If we had a strong vision that becomes the support in the same way that Pinginir is the support, it will give the province and its citizens a sense of purpose and direction and help them work towards common goals. If we were to take a survey of all the Engan students who passed out of University of Papua New Guinea, my best guess is that only less 10% are doing something to contribute to the growth, development, peace and good of the province. The others, they stole the scholarship under the name Engan, and I don't know where they are. We have to create a vision that binds them and brings them back, and create a support system that is entailed in the design of the Pinginir. Number 3, stability. Also captured in the selection choice of the Pinginir, or the strong main column, is stability. A strong column post helps to stabilize the structure of a house, making it more resilient to external factors such as weather and natural disasters. It was built to last. If it doesn't last, then if a vision doesn't last, it's only convenient for a certain time frame, and for people who are in a position of advantage for that only short period of time. It is supposed to serve all generations, and it has to be sustainable and support everything that is required to move a province forward. Similarly, a strong vision for province helps to create stability and resilience in the face of challenge and changes. Resilience is a problem that we as a country are facing right now. Governments after governments have come and gone, but they have not intentionally designed a resilient economy. They have not intentionally designed a resilient public service machinery. They have not designed something that will last over test of time, seasons after seasons, year after year. If anything, 5-year plans are done conveniently to satisfy the ruling political party at any one time. And whenever the government changes, everything goes back to, ground zero, and we start all over again. The public service machinery is a machinery of starting all over again every time the government changes. That is because the Constitution does allow and does specify that we have to build a resilient economy and a resilient system of governance and resilient community that it can be prosperous in the eyes of men as well as God. But our leaders have failed. These are leaders who have sat where you are sitting right now. These are leaders who were one-time first years, and finally final years, they got a degree, went and didn't choose to align themselves to the foundational visions. And finally, what the Pinginir does is it gives good attesting. It has to be beautiful. It has to be beautiful. It makes the house looks what? Beautiful. That is why if you take all the houseman of everywhere place. Everybody is biased to be in love with their houseman, but you will realize that the houseman that I grew up in is always the best because the design is unique. Our vision has to be beautiful in the same way a young boy is willing to die for a beautiful girl. Every young Indian must be willing to die for a vision. If it is not, then it is not. That is the Pingini. But the Pingini alone is not sufficient to hold the structure of the house together. What holds them together? Because at that time there were no nails, remember? So what do you think they used? Huh? What do you think they used? The knots. Be careful. The type of knots that were used to tie the kulimbans in modern day civil engineering, they call it the trusses. And the keels, building foremen, they call them the roof buttons. What held them together is the knots. So in order to do the knot, they cannot again select weak ropes. The traditional vines and ropes they used had to be very selective. They have to use like the Yangerans. Huh? They have to use like the Kantakan. And they are not conveniently located in every village. And it takes time for them to grow. And some of them are right in the middle of the bush. So in order for the successful completion of an Akajan, men had to travel miles and miles to gather them. They did the estimates of what they needed. And they have to collect sufficient amount of them before they came back. So your forefathers were good planners. And they were smart ones. Not like our lazy ones with entitlement mentality who think that just because you have a university degree, even though you are going home as a student, they will ask for a flex card from you. Where do you, what the hell goes through the head when they ask for a flex card from a student on his holiday? That is how lame our mindset has become. They were planners, they were intentional, they were hardworking, they would go around looking for what they needed to look for. Just as traditional knot tying requires careful planning and execution to ensure the stability and durability of the house, a vision and strategy for a province requires careful planning and execution. Our traditional forefathers were very good planners and executioners of the planners. They didn't just plan it, write a book and leave it there to collect dust. They implemented it. Coordination. When you want to do a kandapong, when they are building a houseman for Nakajang, traditional tying involves the coordination of different materials and techniques to create a strong and stable structure. Our forefathers were tactical. The type of knots they use, in my church, I used to teach a group of 500, and they are different knots. The fishermen's double loop knots. Now you have to enroll in a course to learn that. These people, they knew it. Then they knew that that was the most stable and the strongest knot that they can do. Adaptability. Because there is fire and smoke going from inside, and at the outside, because it's up in the high altitude, what's happening? There is rain, fog, and low-laying cold air at that altitude. So they did it in such a way that no matter what was happening outside, that's the external pressure, and no matter what was happening inside, that's the internal pressure, and changes in the conditions, it lasted generations. It lasted generations. Adaptability was a key consideration. And then creativity. I just talked to you about the fisherman's loop. Some of you will never know. A vision and strategy for a province has to be creative, has to be adaptable. We cannot use the same vision that we had 50 years ago or 30 years ago and say that it is current. This is now 2023. By the time you graduate, it will be 2025. Before you realize it and before you go to first promotion, it will be 2030. Our vision and our strategy have to change. Has to change. If we keep doing the same things the same way, and if we are expecting a different result, we will not get it. We will be going round and round in circles. We have tried a lot of visions already. Everything else hangs on the pinginir and the candles. The yangs and the parals, the studs, QAs. Everything is supported by the pinginir and the knots, the candle punks that they give. When they got that right, everything else came in. Why am I talking about the Akajam? Because we have a lot to learn from our forefathers. And if we blend it with the contemporary learning and teaching that we are receiving from lectures, and if we can blend it together, we can create a vision and a model that is sustainable for our people. Otherwise, if we keep on copying and pasting, in the same way we copy assignments from Google, we will go round and round in circles. Engans are generally patriotic. Am I right? I decided to put a newspaper article in there, but I don't think it's good. Patriotism to the point that if they feel even if the referee is right, if it is not in favor of the Myoks, somebody goes in and knocks him down. No other provinces. I had a Foka 100 to come and watch grand final in Port Moresby. Only Engans. They love too deeply. They care too deeply that they will do anything for their people. Patriotism on its extreme can be bad, but we have an opportunity to harness the innate patriotism that is in every Engan and realign it to a vision for unity if we are to achieve change. There are some innate Engan traits. If you don't know, Engans, when it comes to ego, mi mangi Enga. When they say it with their heart, their mind, their soul, with all their might and strength. They mean it when they say it. That's ego. And with ego comes pride. And sometimes a misconstrued self-esteem and self-identity is built around that. And my sister Ruth just talked about it. And when it comes to dying for a clan, dying for a province, dying for a clan, it's an honor. It is what? An honor. That's ego at war. Not the warlords, not the M16s. All those bang, bang, bang and the newspaper headlines that you are seeing. That's the clash of the egos and clash of the pride. There are a lot of good things about us, about who we are, but we have to handle some of them and re-engineer our vision if we are to recreate a better Enga for our children. When it comes to sharing and caring, I may sound a little bit biased, but we are second to none, I think. We share deeply, and what? We care deeply. Passion kills. And we love deeply as well. To the point that you touch my brother, you touch me. You kill him, you come and kill me too. What's the word? Displaced loyalty, right? Loving is no problem, but when our loyalty is displaced, that's when we make the headlines. How can we get those same and recreate them and redesign them and remodel it to a vision of unity where we have to handle some of these. We have to handle some of these things and focus on what matters the most. If you could do that, I'm telling you, we will no longer be way back. How do we integrate patriotism into the vision for unity? What you are seeing over there is the Enga Provincial Education 10-year plan from 2006 to 2015. And the motto or the theme for that plan is striving for a peaceful and prosperous future. Future for who? Future for Enga. That's 2006 to 2015. Did we achieve it? Yes? No? Maybe? Maybe not. You are entitled to your own opinion. I will let you keep it. Okay? Another person, Nelson Mandela, renowned. I don't need to introduce him, but he said something that is very powerful. And he said, education is the most powerful weapon with which you can what? Use to change the world. I'm pretty sure our governor, Sir Peter Iparas, he bought into that one. He believed in it. He had a vision. And the vision, I wrote it here in Enga. Tend name one pirakam sabe audu nyeba. You name a nank. Nyagamam. Aro piremilakans. He recognized that he cannot change everything overnight. No, it wasn't possible. The only way to change way back to what is not supposed to be way back, the only way to change anger from what it is to what it really should be, is through education. And I'm a beneficiary of the spray education policy. I'm not saying this because I was a beneficiary, but in the last 23 years, not 23 years, I think almost 25 years, he started in 1996. He has done well. He has done well. He has discontinued a little bit, but when it comes to setting the foundation, last time I asked him, why can't you continue to do it? And he said, I have to focus on building an hospital. I have to focus on building a university. The University of Goroka alone generates 15 to 18 million of internal revenue for Goroka town every year. Just the university. That's revenue being generated into the economic cash flow of Goroka town alone. Big hospitals, they generate 3 or 4 times more than that. Medical and educational tourists. Now he is trying to shift the direction and move into those ones. He's trying to shift into those ones. But if we still don't unite the province, if we still don't unite the 110 tribes to a common vision, we will still be left wanting. We will still be left wanting. Now, I know I've used up my 10 minutes already, so I'm trying to skip some of the slides here. But if there's any message I'm trying to tell you, it is this. Unity is not just a feel-good idea. Unity is a necessity. Papua New Guinea has 860 languages. It will be hard for us to unite all of them. But the 110 tribes in Enga, we have one language. If we can undo what we need to undo, unlearn what we need to unlearn, and harness what we need to harness, and re-strategize and build it into a charter, and remodel our vision, then we will be measuring on where we're supposed to be measuring. Otherwise, we are measuring on minus. And as long as we measure on minus, there will still be killing, there will still be breaches of rules of engagement. Even in your own village, where I would usually stay up until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and walk home without thinking about what's going to happen to me. The last time I was home, they said, bloody shit, I'm home. I'm in my own village. Why do I need someone to come and tell me that we need to eliminate all those threats. And this is no joke. So if in your next awareness campaign that you are going, your priorities should be, when you are campaigning, talk about how we can unite the 110 tribes for a common goal. If you don't already know, part of Papua New Guinea national flags is all about unity. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we stand in the assembly and we put our hands up, and what do we say? We, the people of Papua New Guinea, pledge ourselves. What is the word? United in one nation. We pay homage to our cultural heritage, the source of our strength. And finally, towards the end, we pledge to build a democratic society based on justice, equality, respect, and prosperity for our people. And then we conclude by saying what? We pledge to stand together as one. One people, one nation, one country. That pledge is a reminder that unity is necessary. Before we talk about roads and bridges, before we talk about schools and hospitals, if we are to change Enga, we have to rethink our vision and our strategy for unity. I'm ashamed to say this, but I will tell you. In my role as Community Relations Manager for Pokora when I was there, I had to deal with 19 different provinces. That's 19 different governors and 19 different provincial administrators. Enga province is one of the provinces that is highly infested with law and order. Infected and infested with law and order. But it is also the only province that doesn't have a law and order strategy. And I'm saying this for a record, and I know somebody's recording this on live. We don't have a strategy. Because we don't have a vision for unity. If we are not empathetically intentional on how to achieve unity, then we will never have a vision for unity. If anything, we are breaking them apart. Using divide and rule tactic, where we can collect more votes is where we are favoring, where we cannot, if we are leaving them to suffer, human beings are dying and we are thinking that they are just numbers and statistics, we will not go anywhere. So young people, how can we make this real for our golden focus? Unity is no longer an option, it is a must. I subscribe to a group called Leadership PNG, which is made up of like-minded professionals, where we talk about what we want to do and how we can make a difference wherever we are. And we have a motto, and the motto is, as I am, so is my community, my district, my province, and my country. So in other words, my community is a reflection of me. My clan is a reflection of me. My tribe is a reflection of me. Huh? By the time you finish from here, after you have acquired your knowledge and qualifications, are you going to have a different personality from your community? We have to start thinking about it. Because if you don't want to think about it, don't get married and don't make babies. Because you are not thinking about them. Can this be a new vision for patriotic unity that we subscribe to wholeheartedly? And that means everyone has to put their hands in their heart and say that, I love my province, I need a united province. 110 tribes, the good thing is they speak the same language, and most of the things, culture and our practices are common. And there's a lot of things that we have in common that we could make use of. And the displaced loyalties and all these things, we need to do our way if we are to achieve. Otherwise, we will be going on and on in circles. So having said all that, the next time if they ask you, where are you from? Tell them I'm from Ute.